Japan tears off the mask and turns the once Pacific Ocean into a sea of blood. Wholesale war blackens the sky in the east and west. Heavy damage was done during mass air attacks. War is flaring wide across the Pacific.
Welcome to Bloodbath Rules. Season 3, 4? I don't know. But tell me this music doesn't match when we talk about Imperial Japan. Oh, the fear, the dread they have put through year after year here in Axis and Allies community. Japan, the unstoppable force. The beast from the Far East. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. Anyway, we are really looking forward to this. Playing Japan, myself, and then my good partner, Detroit, from Axis and Allies, the Garrison. He is going to be playing Germany. No, he is playing Germany. He's already had a round and had some good success there. A little trouble in Southern Europe, but eventually we're able to take it. And he and I will be working hard together to figure out what the best thing for Italy to do is. I got to play Italy last YouTube war. The one I got to play in last year about this time. And that was such a fun experience. So, yeah, I get to beat Japan this time. I don't play Japan too terribly often. So, yeah, I'm going to be trying some things that maybe you've never seen before. And we'll just have a good time. See what happens. Our opponents are Hambone and G.I. Joe. And I think G.I. Joe is playing the Soviets. And I want to say China, I think, and America, and then I think the UK and Anzac are being played by Hambone, and France as well. I hope I got that right. But they're the bad guys, so, you know, who cares? No, we're having a great time already, having some good talks about some of the different things. So I'm going to go over some of the rules here just to make sure you're familiar with what's going on. You'll see we have some oil here. These are oil resources, and there are 10 of them on the board. There's 5 located here in the Dutch East Indies, and then there are 5 located thereabouts in the Middle East, and 1 up in Romania. Of course, the Romanian oil fields at Ploiești. I'm not exactly sure how to say that, but I saw it getting bombed once in a textbook back when I was a kid, and I always thought that was a neat name. Now we also have these little gold bars. Okay, these are resources, and these are also Bloodbath rules. You'll see there are 5 of them on the map. Okay, you got 1 here, 1 here. We got 2 over there, and the last one is up in the Urals. So 4 of the 5 are on Soviet territory, and the 5th is in Manchuria, up here in Chinese/Japanese controlled territory. Because those are on the board for a very important reason is with Bloodbath rules, of course, if you're not familiar, we're going to be playing 8 rounds only, and the Axis need to get 12 victory points. Now, each victory city is a point, but then they can also get points doing various other things. I'm just going to show you that card. These are great cards. Siredblood made all this stuff. And you can get these cards online. Head over to Sired's page, and you can find everything there. But this is Siredblood's Axis Victory scorecard. And if you play 8 rounds, it's 12, 9 rounds, it's 13, 10 rounds, it's 14. And you can see that there are cities listed there. So if you get all the cities, that's 16 points there, a piece of cake. Obviously, that's pretty much a pipe dream. The green ones are ones that the Axis start with. So they start with 5 points right off the bat. The Philippines, Hong Kong, and Paris, of course, tend to fall without too much of a fight, depending on what Japanese do on their turns, but typically those go pretty quickly. So that's 8 of the 12. Well, then they only need 4 more, and as you can see, the Axis control 4 of 10 oil territories. They get a point. If they can up that by 3 more, then they're going to have 2 points. Then the Mediterranean, no Allied territories in C-Zone 95 through 99. The resources, the 3 of the 5 resource territories that I've shown you already: Southeast Asia, South Asia, owning all of China, having the Horn of Africa, New Rome, and the Pacific Islands. There's a couple others that have gone on as well. We have the Third Reich, which means that they hold all of their original territories, plus they'll have Baltic states, Eastern Poland, Bessarabia, Western Poland, I believe, and France. And if they hold all of those, that's another point. And then the Japanese also have one where they have to hold all of their original territories, as well as Guam and the Philippines. So they're doable, but there's some work to be done. There's some work to be done. And again, it's 8 rounds, so you're not really playing the long game. You're wanting to kind of hit your high tide at about turn 6 with the Axis, and then be up, blown past where you need, or everything is kind of gotten, but then you want to secure it for to round 7 and 8 so that the Allies can't come in and sneakily steal some victory points from you. Over here, another thing is the research and development, and you can see that there's some great research and development here. And the way we do it is we are doing these secretly. So you choose these secretly, and then you develop them over time. And you can see there's a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and there's a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So the Germans and the Soviets actually both paid for tech development in the first round. You have to pay $4 to put it on there, and $4 to slide it forward. So the Japanese are going to be spending $4 this turn to move this up to phase 1. So 4 out of 26. That's a good chunk of change right there for them. But it's worth it, because we are going to be researching, and it's a secret, so you can't find out yet. I know the Allies would love to know, but the other thing is all of the NOs, they're on cards here, and what I've done is I've just laid them out, and then as the game goes along, if they get flipped over, it means they get the bonus. So the UK, if the UK controls Egypt, Transjordan, and El Alamein at the end of their turn, which they will, okay, this will get flipped over, and then we'll know that $5 will go to Britain. The Chinese, they get $6 for having the Burma Road, which will still be on their turn, because I'm sure they'll take Yunnan back after I take it this turn, if I even do take it this turn. The Americans have a bunch, but these are all at war. You can see that on the tops of the cards it just says at war, and they're not at war yet. Soviet Union is not at war either, so they don't have any bonuses coming their way. But they have a healthy economy. They start at $37. So that's pretty good. Germany is at 40 right now. They start with 30, and they took $10 worth of territory this last round. So they're pretty healthy. And yeah, Canada is a playable nation, so they're going to be making $7. I'm still working on whether or not that means that the British go back down to 31, because I just got told that info. And in the last game we played, Canada wasn't a playable nation. It was just all UK. So not much went on here. The Germans, of course, took out the fleet in 110, took out the Canadian destroyer and, oh, that's kind of messy, Canadian destroyer and transport. And what else? France fell, of course. Southern France fell to the Germans. The slingshot attack, or ping pong attack as they call, attacked into Yugoslavia and then retreated to Romania, and took Bulgaria in the non-combat move and flew a tactical down here. They also bought a sub and a carrier, and so you can see Norway's empty, but that would be foolish, I think, of the British. But who knows, they might just go over there and take it just to take it. But the Germans now have a pretty decent fleet sitting there, and we'll see what happens, see if the British have the stones to go after that. Germans have a lot of money to spend next round. I believe 72 or 71. They had 73, but the the French here did a convoy on them for 2. And if you don't know, I just learned this too. This is a new rule. Is that when you do convoy, okay, of course it has to have the convoy symbol in there, but it also, you have an automatic 1 for each ship that is in there to a maximum of the territory. So the most that he could get convoyed for is 3. Then you roll the dice. Of course, if you roll a 1 or a 2 or a 3, then those numbers you get at face value. But G.I. Joe rolled for the French and got 2 6s, but they still get 1 for each ship. I kind of like that rule because if you got ships in the area, that's definitely going to hurt your economy. If you got enemy ships blockading your port, yeah, I mean, if it comes down to a die roll and you don't roll well, it means there's no effect. Yeah, so I kind of like these little changes, and that's what I love about Axis and Allies. That's what I love about HBG games. They all have these little house rules you can put in, little nuances. Now, I don't have a Siredblood map. That's just something I couldn't afford right now, and I know you can download it and get it printed someplace or what have you. But I've had to make a little change here. So here we have, this is an impassable zone here. Only strategic bombers can fly over this. And it's meant to go all the way from the Himalayas all the way up to Tunguska and Kansu. And the only thing that can cross here is infantry, as many as you want, but infantry, and it can go back and forth. And if enemy infantry come in there, no battles. Okay, they just kind of stand there and look at each other and they don't fight. All right, but you can fly over with planes. You can't land there with planes, but it's a zone to get through. So that just, I guess, and stuff can come down through here though normally. So you can still bring tanks and whatnot down through there if you want to, as the Russians, and obviously the other way is the Japanese, should that actually take place. All right, well that's pretty much everything there. So that's my explanation. I'm just going to pause the video here, and I'm going to go get a glass of water, and then we will get down to it. And the Russians here, they got 4 in Amur, pulled 2 back to Saka, pulled their stuff back there, and that artillery, it came from Russia and used the Trans-Siberian Railway to come on over. The last thing I guess that I'll talk about is if you have an industrial complex, you can rail units up to 3 zones away as long as you own all the territory between and on. So up to 3 units can be railroaded. So, you know, the British can railroad from here, 1, 2, they could railroad stuff all the way down to Melee. Fortunately, you can't go back until you build a factory there. But all right, there you have. We'll have Japan's turn in just a second. Sorry for the coughs. All right, feel a little better. Got some water in me. All right, I just finished some meetings this morning with my kids, and it's funny how much I almost have to talk more when you're doing video than when you're in person. That's kind of odd. But anyway, so here we go. This is Japan's buy. We've got $26, but we're spending 4 on technology. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't have the fancy schmancy Axis and Allies chips. I just got the regular poker chips. But whites are 1, reds are 5, blues are 10. So here we have 5, 6, 7. That's going to be a transport. So that's 4 and 7 is 13, and then we got a factory at 12. Okay, so 4 and 7. Oh, good grief! 4 and 7 is 11. And 12 is 23. Okay, so we're saving 3 for the Japanese. Now I've already put out these things here just so I don't have to do them on camera, and they'll hopefully go a little bit faster. I don't want to belabor you. So pretty standard Japanese opening round. All these guys are headed in here like so. These 2 guys here coming down from Kiangsu. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. And that means they have 1 movement left. That's what that fuel gauge means in there. We also have 2 bombers coming from the mainland. They're going to fly on down. We got 2 there. We've got the Formosan fighter, 1, 2, 3, which means he has 1 left in his tank. We also have the Okinawan fighter, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, which means he has 1 left in his tank as well, because he has the air base, of course, which I think is new to this version. Again, all the blue chips are non-com, so don't have to worry about that. We do have a couple of tacticals who are going to make their way down. They're going to take part in the Hunan raid. And everything else is going to be non-com. Alright, here I have my hit dice all marked out here, and these are all 1s. These are 2s, 3s, and 4s. Okay, so instead of having to roll dice and pick them back up, roll again, pick them more again, is a little simpler. So we'll start here with the big one in Yunnan, where we have 3 infantry supported by 1 artillery, got a fighter, a tactical, and 2 bombers. So we have 2 unsupported infantry. We've got 1 supported infantry with its artillery. We've got a fighter. We've got a tactical. And then we have 2 bombers. Alright, here we go. Let's see how this goes. Oh, not as good as I hoped. I was hoping for 1 round, but we did get 3. And the Chinese get 4 in reply. Ooh, 2 hits. Alright, so that's 2 hits for the... Let's put those out there, and 3 for, so I'm losing that and losing that. So I'm down to an artillery there. Okay, that clears them out, and then they've got a 2 coming back, and a hit. So they got, well, I had an artillery and a man, pardon me. Not just an artillery, but anyway. So now I'm just down to an artillery, because they got 3 hits. Those guys, I tell you. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So Yunnan will be under the rising sun. I should probably get my chips out here, get them handy. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So we'll put that there for now. Then we have the battle in Hunan. Hunan, I have a very similar setup here, except I've got 2 unsupported infantry. We've got an artillery supporting another infantry. We have got 2 at 3 with the 2 fighters, and then 2 at 4 with the 2 tacticals. Alright, need 2 hits. Got them. And the Chinese come back. Oh, no hits this time. Yeah, dice are evening out just like that. Alright. So Chinese use that. And another one goes there. And of course these are auto wins because nobody's there at this time. Alright. Now we will do our non-coms. I'm going to start with the planes from all the fights because that's just going to be simpler to do. I'll get them out of the way first. So everybody here has 1 space left to go, and everybody is going to just crowd into this area here. I'm going to try to keep it neat enough so that when I do my wrap up, it's a pretty simple thing. Okay, these guys are in here, but there's going to be some ground units coming in there. So, all right. Now, the tricky part. Here we go. We have got this transport. He's going to come up here. He's going to pick up this artillery and this man. He's going to move here and drop them both off in Jiangxi. Okay, so he's done. Get rid of those. We're going to have this transport. He's going to pick up this man and this artillery, and he's going to go 1, 2, and drop them off in Guangxi. So he's done. I'll just tip these over so we know they're done. All right. Then we have this man and this tank, and they're going to move 1, 2, 3 down as well. So we'll now have a tank in Guangxi and a broken bayonet. All right. So there we go. So that's it for the movement of ground troops on that area. Now we'll do some simple moves here. They're going to move there. And these fellows here are going to move down to Jihol. And we're going to tidy that up right there. Get rid of all this blue. All right. Okay, now we are going to bring the cruiser down to Hainan. We're going to bring that down to there. We are going to bring a destroyer down to, or 2 destroyers, down to Formosa. Actually, we're going to bring, we're going to bring 2 destroyers down to Formosa. These guys here, they're going to come on over into this area here. So the planes moved from here. They moved 1, 2, 3. And so we're going to move those planes into that mess. I might, at the end of all this, I might have to pause, rearrange, and then count them up, but we'll see. All right. These 2 carriers. This is where I wish you would have gone in with all the magnets and everything and got everything magnetized, but I just never have. I've got so many different games, and I thought, I'll just live with it, but now it's kind of hurting. So they're all going to come down here, and all of these planes are going to pile into there. All right. We now have 2. Oh, I think I got too many tacticals here on Japan. I think I was loading up at one point and then I took my eyes off and loaded up. I'm pretty sure they don't have 4 tacticals in Japan. I think they just have the 2. So we'll just play like they've got the 2 there. All right. We got 2 more tacticals. And we're going to move them down here as well. The fighters. This Korean fighter is going to go into Manchuria. And this fleet here, coming down. We can set the transports up now. We know we're not using them right now. Okay, so that's a big mess. I'm going to do a little bit of house cleaning, and I'll get back to you in just a second here. This is just a mess. Ugh. Okay, well that was a mess. Yeah, obviously there was only 2 tacticals in Japan. That's why you should set up all at once. I had to leave and come back a couple of times. But anyway, so we have 2 bombers here, and we have 8 of each of the tactical and the fighter in Kwang-si. So the carriers are empty, but all the planes are on there. And yeah, there you go. I guess it's time to go over things here. I'll talk about the money first. I guess I'll put my build on, so of course that has to go there because there's no other place for it. And then that one is going to go into Kiangsu. Okay. And our tech, of course, is going to move up. So I think I've already shown you this, but just in case you forgot, there you go. So America and Britain will likely move up as well. Canada and Anzac are represented here. They can certainly do that, but they don't have to. So the Japanese have gone up 1, 2, 3, 4. The Chinese have gone down 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, they'll rebound by taking Yunnan back next turn, I am sure. If not some of the others. You'll notice that the Chinese also have cavalry here, and they punch pretty good. They punch at a 2. They only defend at a 1 though, but they attack at a 2, and yeah, they can buy them for 4. Same price as Artie. Can't buy Artie at the start of this turn though, because they don't have Yunnan. So that's kind of a good thing, I guess. Here's the money situation in the game, and this is just my little way of putting things together. I sent a message about Canada. I know Canada gets 7, so they should be added onto this, and I think that'll come off the 38 for Britain. So I think Britain's only going to have 31 to spend on their side, and then 7 will go to Canada.
Okay, no big deal. Stupid Lisa!
Or to the important side, the Axis. So the Germans, they got 50 last round plus the bonus that they got from taking Paris. They got their $19, and plus they didn't spend everything. So they actually have, like I say, 71 even after the convoying. Japan, we now have 40 for next round. So the change from the base is a 4, right? So the base is 30 for Japan. We're at 26. We gained 4 for the 4 territories we took. Italy is yet to come. But at the start of the game, $26 for the Axis and 149 for the Allies. So, yeah, Axis are up against it, I think. And, I mean, yeah, you could point at the stack of 18 planes that I have there, but let's not do that. Again, this is a victory point game, and we start with 5. And as it stands right now, we have 6, I believe, at the end of this round. Because of Paris being taken. So with that, at 6, so we're halfway there after round 1. You guys give up yet? Huh? Handbone? G.I. Joe? Give up? Look at that. Look at all that. Look at all that pumpkin. So I'm just going to go over the numbers now and just make sure I did everything correctly. Alright, so in the Carolines, we have 1 AAA and 2 infantry. Palau has 1 infantry. Ujima has 1 infantry. Japan has, oh shoot, I should have counted that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 infantry. And 2 artillery. And 3 AAA. And C-Zone 6 has a transport. We'll just keep going counterclockwise here. In Manchuria, we have 4 infantry, 1 mechanized infantry, 3 fighters, 1 AAA. In Jihol, we have 5, I believe. Yes, we have 5 infantry. In Chahar, we have 2 infantry and 1 artillery. Anhui, we have 6 infantry and 1 artillery. In Kiangsu, we have an industrial complex. Kiangsi, we have 1 man, 1 artillery. Hunan, we have 3 men, 1 artillery. Yunnan, we have 1 artillery. In Guangxi, we have 2 artillery, 2 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 tank, 2 strat bombers, 8 tactical bombers, and 8 fighters. In Siam, we have 2 infantry. In C-Zone 36, 3 empty carriers, 2 cruisers, 1 battleship, 2 destroyers, 1 sub, and 2 transports. And in C-Zone 20, we have 2 destroyers, 1 sub, 1 battleship, and 1 transport. So I believe that's everything. Everything has been taken care of. Haven't done a YouTube war in a year, so if I've forgotten something or did something wrong, hopefully I didn't, but I think that's everything. So over to my good buddy Hambone, I believe, who will be taking care of things with our next team up to bat, which is the Americans and the Chinese. Nationalist Chinese here. No commies in this game, but they're a lot of fun. There you go. All right, Hambone, best of luck, sir. We'll see you next round. And look out for the planes. Quick addendum here, folks. Sorry, I forgot to do it on this side. I showed you the Allies and their NOs. So here's the German NOs, and they've gotten 2 of them right now, because they got Denmark and Norway while they're at war, and they're not at war with the Soviets, so they get an extra $5 there as the trade continues. For the Japanese, their NO is that they're not at war with the US, it has not attacked French Indochina, and has made no unprovoked attacks against the UK or Anzac. For a kinder, gentler Japan, and we're going to take that $10. So if you look at the board here now, we're making 40 and 30 plus 10. We saved 3, so we'll have $43 to spend next turn, and there shouldn't be any convoying because, yeah, nobody can convoy us. I mean, I guess Britain could declare war and take $1 off us. Hey, do that. Do that, Hambone. That'd be fun. Or G.I. Joe, I think, might be UK. Oh, I got to figure out who's who. All right. Anyway, thought I'd just let you know about that, and we will pass the reins.